What's up, everyone? I'm Dave Mech, and welcome to a new video. It's been a while, mainly because I got a second kid, and he's a very happy little dude. He laughs a lot, and it's just a really wonderful little person. But it's also quite tough. And yeah, the first is one thing, but the second that doesn't really sleep well, yeah, that will do it. So I haven't been able to really focus on creating new videos for the YouTube channel. But this joyous occasion, 25 years of Elektron, them releasing a remix edition of my beloved Digi series is incredible. And then a new OS, a new firmware for the analog rhythm that a lot of people waited for. So many people really felt like the rhythm was left behind a little bit. So really pleased to be able to showcase to you the new firmware update for Rytm, and I think you'll really like it. So yes, it contains new machines that are really cool, and no, it does not contain a second LFO, and I'll explain later in the video why this is. So let's just begin. One thing before we start, I might struggle a little bit with words sometimes. That is really the sleep depravity speaking. And I decided to just go ahead and record this video, and we'll see how it goes. So let's begin with the first features being the new machines. So the first new machine is a bass drum acoustic. And it does actually sound quite good. They did well. It sounds really like sort of a kind of like a metal band drum, which is pretty cool, and has a nice kind of range. Can be quite punchy. The click is a little bit hard, but using the filter, it does provide, because it's so loud, it does provide an extra nice punch. So it's actually quite good. See, it gives a really nice punch, and of course you can dial it in as much as you want using the filter. There we go. Okay, so let's clear that page. Now, the cool thing is that you have different waveforms, and quite a lot actually. And also, square wave. So you can create some nice gabber gigs. Also nice bass lines. Right. And now if we do this, remove the sweep sign, we're left with a tone. Now we can actually use it as a synthesizer, right? And what I like about this is that this impact actually provides a nice it makes it even nice snappy bass line. So really like that one actually. Second one. Second new machine is the snare drum acoustic. Similar. It sounds really good actually. somebody did a really good job on these acoustic machines, because especially this one sounds really good. So if we dial back everything, also usable as a synth sound, of course. So, oh, that's the sample. But yeah, I really like this one. It's actually a pretty good snare. I'm not a big fan of snares, to be honest. But it does sound pretty good. Let's reset it to the original settings. Pretty good. So the next new machine that we have is let's go with a rim shot. Double tap. Let's go down. We have new synth machine. So the dual VCO we all know, and we have synth chip. It's a completely new one, and we also have synth raw that we know from the Syntact. So this one. So let's go for something lower. There we go. And choose a different waveform. Square wave, which is great, and noise. Then we have these animated waveforms, which do various things. It's a bit pulse width modulation like. And then we have actual pulse width plus and pulse width minus. And if we move here, get these blips, transients. Very nice. And then if we move, we actually have pulse width, variable pulse width, and then we can of course set up a LFO to waveform, and then we just need to be mindful of the setting here. It's a long range. I really like the range of this knob. It's actually, I think this must be, yeah, it's quite a big range. So I think we are good when we set this to 32 or something. Nice. There we go, pulse width modulation. Now the speed speaks for itself a little bit, but so synced to the BPM, but to the right, hertz. We get into audio range. So we actually get very nice. Lovely harmonics. So that actually sounds really good. So you can offset the, I think there's, so you have a main tune, then you have 3 offsets. So you can, yeah, if you speed this up, get nice arpeggiated lines. So if I just program this and go to this page, set the length to, let's say, 12 and have a kick. There we go. chiptune, and this is not, and I'm kind of using it as a traditional sort of an arpeggiated little machine, but you can of course go nuts with the these animated. This one is nice. But let's go for the pulse width modulation for now. There we go. See, I'm already kind of losing myself here. Cool. So that is synth chiptune. And then of course we have synth raw, which I won't go too much into because we already know that from Syntact. But you know, you have ring modulation. Well, yeah, that is raw, right? I really love that. It's a really great machine. So, moving on, we have two new hi-hat machines, and these are really great. So, hi-hat lab on the closed hi-hat and hi-hat lab on the open hi-hat are a little bit different. I'm only going to show you one, but you can hear. This is open hi-hat one. This is the oh, that's not the closed hi-hat. This is the closed hi-hat one. Oh, they're actually huh. Okay, scrap that. So we have a new hi-hat lab machine, and it's yeah, the name lab is great because we get six oscillators that we can detune ourselves, and that way we can create some very precise hi-hats ourselves. So there's a whole bunch of hi-hats that we can create from this and really find the one that we like. I'm still not a huge fan of the method because it always sounds a little bit tinny, but I did find a couple of very nice kind of glitchy things that we can do with this machine, and that's always the coolest thing, is to use the machines for something different. So if we set them all to 0 and then increase the overdrive, and now watch out when you increase the oscillators because it becomes quite loud, right? But you can already hear that you get this zipper effect. And if we modulate that, that's pretty cool, right? So we can kind of create a little pretty cool. So those are the new the new machines. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Euclidean mode. Let's start with a low tom, shall we? I'm actually gonna, let's make this a bit shorter because it's, there we go. Let's go to the bass thumb and go to the trig page, but then yeah, tap it again, and now we see this Euclidean mode, and you can turn it on. You can add pulses and have another operator to add more pulses, and they can actually overlap and cross each other, and you have this Boolean mode that actually tells changes the way it determines which of the pulses of the two operators should be used. So I think it's I don't actually have the manual yet. This is still a beta version as the making of this video. So I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I'm sure in the manual they will clear up how all the different options work. So for now, I'll just leave this, but you can see that it changes kind of the way things are populated and triggered, and yeah, how you can actually see it jump around a little bit. How the pulses are, which of the two operator pulses are going to be used. You can, of course, rotate. That is really cool. And rotate the entire track or the operators separately. So let's add a light tone. Change the length. For this, we need to go to the scale mode, change this to advanced, and let's turn this to infinite. And now we can change the length of this. Let's turn this down to 10. We go. Funky. So, Euclidean mode. So that is a really big addition. Very nice. So let's move on to the next big feature. So introducing the ability to set sequencer pages to loop. And this is one of those features that a lot of people wanted for all the Elektron machines. But I'm afraid that it's will be very hard to implement on the Digi series because it revolves around the page button, which also works as fill on the Digi machines. But here we can actually hold page down, and you will see that the grid becomes green. We can determine which of the tracks are affected by the looping of one or more pages. So we can actually choose to loop page 1, loop page 2, 3, etc., or loop pages 2 and 3, or 1 and 4. And if you want to cancel out of it, you can just press no, and it will go back to normal. So let's say let's do it with a kick. We're gonna add 4 pages. I'm gonna make it a bit more funky to. Let's add some stuff here, and like that. So now if I want to loop page 4, you have to go out of grid recording mode. So press and hold. Press and hold page. And yeah, I can mute this from happening, but let's loop page 4. And you'll see that page 4 now keeps looping, and I can mute the bass drum from being affected by this. And now we'll continue as normal. And I can also unmute it, and it will start looping again. And I can cancel this, and it will continue where it was within the entire sequence as well. So everything will still be synced up, which is really nice. Awesome. This is not only nice for live performances, where you could even, uh, you know, you could have things loop around for a little bit and then go back to the entire arrangement. But it's also nice when you're working on page 4 within a very slow sequence, which is set to half speed or a fourth of the speed, and then loop that fourth page to start working on that particularly. Now, there's one more interesting thing. If I make this 3 pages, well, let's make it 4 pages actually. And on the 4th page, I'm going to make it super obvious because then it will be clear what's happening. I'm going to turn up the tuning and turn this up. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but it's just to kind of show what will happen. So let's play. Now I'm gonna make this 3 pages, and the 4th page is still there, right? It's just, it remembers what I did on page 4. I can now actually go ahead and loop that page 4. And now I can return back. Again. It's a bit quirky because you have to kind of activate that 4th page and then etc. But it's pretty cool if you think about it. You could use that 4th page as a sort of a hidden kind of fill kind of thing that you can loop within one pattern, right? It's pretty nifty, I thought. So let's move on to the next feature. Quality of life improvement is the chromatic mode. So if we go to chromatic mode and press track, you can already see it. Normally we only had chromatic mode, but now we can lock it to a scale. So basically just funk, go to track, and there's this pad scale mode, and you can change the root note, the pad scale, and if it's per pattern or not. So that's pretty cool. If it's across patterns or it's just for this pattern, the mode that you're in. That's pretty nifty. So that is a big update. And let's move on to the next one. LFO slew. So if we, let me go to an empty, let's first just save this kit, save this project, because maybe I like this groove a little bit and I want to improve on it. So let's go to an empty pattern and let me load a new kit, of course, because, you know. There we go. So we're going to load in raw. There we go. And I'm going to set the LFO to random and to tune, so it will be very obvious. So, random melody. This starting phase of parameter will now be normally it doesn't do anything for a random wave, right? Because it doesn't have a start phase. It's random, stepped random. But this will now act as a slew limiter, so it will smooth out the edges of. That's pretty handy. So if you want a more smooth randomization thing, this is the way to do it, and that's actually very nice. So definitely on things like pulse width modulation or something like that, if you want to have that randomly change but not stepped but smooth, then this is the way to do it, and that's really nice. So cool, let's go to the next one. Now we're moving on to the smaller updates, but still very nice. Starting and the end parameter, as you can see, of the samples, I don't have any samples loaded in this project, are now not just integers, but the resolution is way higher, like on the Digitect, which is wonderful because we really need that to make sure that we hit 0 crossing points to get around the clicks and stuff. So that is just wonderful. Another little thing that I really like is that they added this. I can now press yes on an empty slot and it will go to the sample browser. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So let's say I have a pattern like this one. And I'm gonna go to my synthesizer, and I'm gonna add an extra trigger right here, and I'm actually gonna set this octave higher. And I'm also gonna increase the... So now, you probably already know this, when I'm on the amp page for instance, when I press and hold this trigger, you can see that these page buttons light up, so I know that there's a parameter lock there. Very handy. Additionally, when I micro-time this to the right, for instance, you can already see that when I press and hold this trigger, it indicates that it's micro-timed to the right and to the left. Very, very handy. Now, another cool thing that is applied to trigs is that we can actually save the sound of a trig. So if I press and hold this sound, I actually can press sound, and it goes to the sound browser, and I actually can save this particular sound on this trig. So let's say you have one track where you parameter lock the hell out of everything to create multiple sounds within one track. You can now save those sounds by simply holding a trigger and pressing sound, or mute rather, whatever you want, and save that into your sound browser. Really nice. So let's move on. Talking about sounds and samples. In the sampler, we now have, similar to the Digitact, all the options that the Digitact also has, the Digitact. We can set a specific recording length, like 16 steps, and that way we can set the threshold not too high or not too low. And now play, and it will record a perfect 1-bar loop. There we go. Very nice. On the trig page, notes are now displayed as notes. It's a small improvement, but that's pretty nice. And selected analog machines offer scaling in semitones with higher resolution. So I think that's similar to the sample start and stop, where we get better resolution, so you can really dial it in much better. That's very, very nice indeed. The machine selection is grouped by type, which is also quite nice. There's an LED intensity setting right now, so we can, in dark environments, we can set this to low, which is quite nice. On the bass tom, we have a sweep parameter right now. That's new. And on the cowbell, we have pulse width options for both of the oscillators that are used. That's pretty cool, actually. So we can... That's pretty cool. So yeah, I love this kind of stuff. So let's set this the pulse width of 1, maybe. Oh, pulse width of pulse width of 1, maybe. Yeah. Nice. So that's cool. Yeah. Those are pretty much the things that are implemented, and yeah, I think I covered everything. We didn't get any extra machines on the sampling page, and we didn't get a second LFO. And I know everybody really wanted a second LFO. And it's not it's not that Elektron doesn't know. I've been in the beta group, so I knew. Yeah, of course, a lot of people in the beta group asked for a second LFO, and the answer simply was that they tried, but the CPU is simply maxed out on this thing. They really hit the ceiling of what the Rytm can do in terms of CPU. So adding a second LFO is just not possible. And I suspect, I'm not entirely sure, but I suspect that the same thing applies to the sampling page. And yeah, they said this about the digitect as well years ago, and then they kept improving and adding stuff, even a second filter. And that is also the thing, of course, that that a lot of people requested was a second filter. But again, it takes CPU power. It was not possible. This thing is much older than Digitect and has a lot more functionality already squeezed out of that CPU, right? So it's just not possible for now. I mean, you never entirely know with Elektron. Sometimes they surprise you with an extra LFO, like on the Digitect, and an extra filter. But yeah, from what I gathered, it's really not possible with Rytm. So it's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. And you know, that is what it is. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really tried to not ramble on too much, and I hope I didn't stutter too much with the whole sleep depravity thing. And I hope I can record a new video soon, as soon as possible. I'll close off with a little groove that I created. It's just a loop, you know. I didn't use any scenes or performance macros. And most of this is that's not the good one. This is the one. Most of it is created with the new machines and stuff. So and yeah, like I said, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'm fairly sure that I will be uploading more videos very soon, and I'm gonna try and ramp up to release videos more often. That means that I'm gonna ramble on more and edit less, because it takes too much time to edit my ramblings out of these videos. But please let me know in the comments if you would like me to ramble on more, or that you really want more edited videos to make the information more compact, I guess. It takes more time, so probably less videos then, or more videos that are not as hyper edited. Let me know. I thought this was nice. Cool groove. Yeah. And this is that chip tune. Here I used raw machine to create something that seems like a dub chord, but it's really just two detuned oscillators. And because of the other tones and toms, it feels like it is a chord. It's pretty interesting, I thought. So, I'll see you